Welcome to Getting Stoked, everybody. So the Psychedelephants they've been meaning to be on the show for quite a while, man. I'm happy that we got to hook it up. I've known the majority of these boys since they were in a band called the Redemptions, the singer of which I've had on the show. I think he was like the fourth episode I think that we ever did, one of the really early ones, when we were doing it still in the living room. And yeah, man. So the Psychedelephants came on the show. We had a good time. Yeah, man. Not much to say about that. They got some new music coming out, and if you're into this kind of thing, check them out. They're a really good band. They play good music stuff. So yeah, Psychedelephants. Woo! Welcome everybody. Welcome you guys. Welcome the Psychedelephants for coming over.
Thank you.
After a long time of me fucking up and this not happening a long time ago. So thank you guys for coming on the show anyway. We made it work, even if it was like 3 months ahead of the original date or whatever we had scheduled a while ago. How you guys doing, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Chilling?
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chilling. So I know you guys have something kind of new around the corner, yeah?
We do. The Apache Lake Music Festival was just announced today.
Nice. When is that happening?
October 26th and 27th.
Have you played that before?
We did when the band was called Danger Paul, 2012.
I didn't know that there was a band called Danger Paul.
Yeah, it turned into Psychedelephants.
Yeah, Paul's nickname was Danger Paul, and it ended up just being the band name.
Yeah.
Because,
I've always known him as Danger Paul.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the name of the band for maybe a year and a half.
Yeah? And then what made you want to change it? You just thought
Wasn't
it was
it? And then it was Danger Paul and the Psychedelic.
Yeah.
Well, it kind
Oh.
of started.
Yeah, there was a segue a little bit.
Yeah, it started kind of as a solo project, you know, and then once it wasn't, it just didn't feel right that way.
Yeah, totally. Plus the portmanteau's great. Psychedelephants.
Right.
Super, super fantastic.
Yeah, Kaylin thought that one up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good job, Kaylin.
You know.
Now, I know Paul and Spencer from bands prior of yesteryear, but how do you fit into this whole thing?
Well, I played with Paul when we were Danger Paul, so we played together since 2011.
Nice.
And then we played in the Rolling Blackouts together, too.
What's the Rolling Blackouts?
Man, that's...
That was a band started by Ari Leopold, who
I know that name.
He runs Lava Lake Studios now.
Got it.
It was kind of his little mad scientist, project to play with. I played like 4 different instruments at different times.
That's what you do, though.
Well, you know,
Especially you and Spencer.
you like to learn new
How
stuff,
many
right?
fucking bands are you guys in? Like, that's what I know. I know the Psychedelephants as being the band that has the guys in it who are in a bunch of other bands.
I'm solely Psychedelephants at this
Yeah?
time. Yeah.
Good for you. What now? Were you in Hostile Work Environment? Was that you?
No,
That was you.
I'm in Hostel.
You're in Hostile. Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you? You were just in Redemptions, Psychedelephants,
Rolling Blackouts.
Rolling Blackouts.
I was in Field Trip at one point.
Got it. What about you, Spencer?
I'm in the Banter also right now.
Okay.
And me and Ealo have been playing together.
You can move your mic up a little
Yeah.
bit. Like turn it. There you go. Yeah.
me
Get
and,
up on that
Me
shit.
and Ealo have been playing together every once in a while now.
Very cool. Nice. What about you, Kaylin?
I'm in a couple of cover bands outside of the Psychedelephants right now.
Just playing, just having some fun.
Yeah, I make a little money on the side, and then
That's what I know.
yeah,
That's what makes all of the money.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then I could buy the fun stuff for
Well, that's what you do, though, right? You
Yeah.
like that's what. Do you guys know the Apaches?
Yeah.
The Eric started the Apaches just as a way to funnel money into their other project, and then they were just like, "Fuck this, let's keep doing this," and they just cut the other project and kept paying the Apaches.
They're making some good surf rock albums right now.
Dude, they're great. They're
Yeah,
solid.
awesome.
Like I was actually up to play bass for them, and I like practiced with them, and I learned all the songs and stuff. And then they went with some boring old guy. So I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. He seems like a really cool dude. But yeah, man, they were really fun. I love that music. I got super into it. So plus it just made sense. So yeah, let's get the guy from the other surf band. But yeah, man, that was super fun. Apaches are good guys. Who do you like to play with a lot in the scene? Like, who are some like go-to? Like, we're setting up a show. Who are we gonna get?
Woodworks.
Makes sense. Yeah, Woodworks.
Yeah,
You got,
we've been
Solo?
longtime friends. Yeah, Solo,
Mhm.
Stan, and Steve. Been following and hanging out with those guys for just as long. You know, it's been 7 years or so.
Damn. 7
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, just, new stuff and new people, and the community grows, and you just find your spot.
Do you still play that? Was it a baritone guitar? Is that what you used to play? No, it was
No.
the
Bass 6.
It was the
Yeah, the
Right.
bass 6 and the Redemptions.
yeah.
Miles
Yeah.
plays one in Psychedephants.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Our,
Yeah.
the
You just
guy's
love
not
that
here.
sound?
Yeah.
It's just like a guitar, but an octave lower.
Yeah, you just love that sound. Is that what the deal is? 'Cause I don't
It's-
really see them that often.
It's a great guitar. It's just the only real difference is you have the opportunity of some higher notes.
I had no
Um,
idea that that's what it was. I totally just thought it was standard like bass, and then I
Yeah,
saw
look-
you live, and you were reproducing the same sound, but with that guitar. I was
Right,
Like, oh shit.
Yeah, strings are a little thinner, so it looks a little more like a guitar or baritone, but
Yeah, totally. Is that what Robert Smith played? Wasn't that what he did? Didn't he have
I'm not sure.
I think so. I'm gonna say that he did, for the record.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but whatever. So now, what were some of the earliest music that you guys put together like? As the Psychedelephants, or I guess supposedly as Danger Paul.
Yeah, well, it started out when I was just kind of writing before these guys, and I said, I want to put this band together when I started playing with Kalen, and Ari was the drummer. It's kind of just, songs I wrote, and they progressively started being kind of jazzy, creative, just a little different, a little off. The first album is definitely jazzier and softer.
Yeah, a lot of it's the first Psychedelephants album, Asymmetrical Geometry, has a lot of the stuff we played in Danger Paul.
Very cool. So how does that differ from the music that you guys are doing right now?
We're definitely heavier, weirder.
Weirder? Start experimenting a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. And we write as a band more.
That's good.
It's been progressively just been more of a group project. We got a couple ideas for albums up the road. I don't know. We're
Not
just trying to
everybody
do a
can
lot
that.
right now.
What would you say is the component with you guys that allows you to write as a band? Because that's something that I've really never done in a band before. There was always one evil genius behind everything, and then we would kind of throw our own spices into it. But I've never been in a band before where they all write. Like Bear Ghost does the same thing. Like they all sit down and they write a note, and then they write a note. And what's your guys' process for that? Because I feel like everybody does it a little bit differently.
I think it helps to we kind of jam one-on-one. Like I'll jam just with Kalen, or I'll jam just with Paul. So you can kind of get the formations ideas to bring to the whole group.
Totally.
Yeah, you kind of just you're building on parts. So just oh, this is one riff, but you think of it as it could be a section of a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you know it, you're piecing things together from these ideas you forgot about that you made a little, cell phone demo of.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see if we can throw that in there. Oh, that's weird, but it works. Sounds cool. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
We've sat on parts for years.
Yeah.
There's stuff
And-
that we wrote before the last album that's going to be on the new upcoming E EP.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to I had Wolfsy, the electronic producer, on the show, and he has shit that has just been sitting on. I mean, for electronic musicians, it seems a lot easier. But he was just he had samples and shit that he's been sitting on for 2 years, and he just flips through it every once in a while. It's oh. So what's the word on? You guys got who'd you record it with?
Well, we do all our recording ourselves.
Nice. How do you pull that off?
We have our home where
Just a bunch of different mics and multi-track setups and stuff like that.
Miles does all the recording for us.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's his little wheel well.
That's awesome, man. So you guys you've always just done that?
Not
We
always.
did do it on the first album. but
Yeah, the first album
the
I
last
did at Bangarang with James Mitchell. In his
Friends and stuff like that, or would you opt for to go into a studio?
we definitely want to experiment some more with different producing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we're just kind of on a roll. What are we waiting for at this point? Let's just do as much as we can. As I almost want to say as fast as you can,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a quality assurance spot in there.
Yeah, it was how much money you're going to spend, how much time are you going to...
You kind of well, that's the thing though with I feel like that's what rock musicians are lacking right now is they're not putting out enough content. They're not constantly putting new things out there. And if you have that setup where you can always do that at home, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to wait on a rock band to release one 12-track record every 2 years, every 3 years.
Right. Yeah.
It's no, we have the ideas now. We have the equipment now. Let's put out something, whether it's going to go on an album later or not. Put it out now and then continually push content.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it's a brilliant way to go about it.
Yeah, we've been trying to push out a lot of music videos lately. We just released Lunar Treatment and Fata Morgana off of the last album, and Contestant as well. So those 3 music videos we put out this year. So we're just trying to build in all aspects of, you know, I don't know, it's all art-based, so it's a lot of fun. I've been doing a lot of the video stuff myself to just add to, you know, the
We did
graphics
just put
and-
out a single for summer too, Sundrunk.
Yeah.
Just not for on an album or anything. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like a summer song.
There you go. See, perfect. That's what the kids want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just give everyone a bone, you know, while they wait.
Yeah, Childish Gambino just released the Summer Pack.
Yeah.
So I felt like we were like right on the same page there.
Yeah, that was weird. That kind of like threw people off, the Summer Pack thing, because he put out This Is America and everyone was like super stoked on Childish, and he's like putting out this really cool, like aware political stuff, and then he just like followed that up with 2 just like summer banger songs.
Summer Pack's dope. I like it.
I know it's not that it's bad, but people were like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But that's what they.
I
people
love
usually
him
do.
because he just does whatever the fuck he wants, like
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he put out a fucking like soul record. That was his
Yeah.
last full length that he
Yeah.
put out. And
Oh, it's so good too.
yeah, dude, Awaken My Love is fantastic. He's great. I've loved him since Community. That's when I really got into Donald.
I used
Trump.
to watch his like YouTube sketch shows.
Yeah,
like,
Derek Comedy.
Derek Comedy, yeah.
Yeah, I followed his blog when he was just rapping over other people's beats.
Mhm. Dude, yeah, he was great.
Rapping over Grizzly Bear.
Yeah.
Dude, that Grizzly Bear, I don't know what song you're talking about, but the Grizzly Bear music video for 2 weeks is one of the scariest fucking things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like this really weird, trippy kind of, because the song's real pretty. It's like the single, whatever.
Yeah.
It's really poppy and cool. And the song has like uses these weird lighting effects and these weird timing effects where people are singing along to the song, and this like, it's what's it called when something is just like human, but it's not quite human, and it makes you uncomfortable because of that. The uncanny valley, like it's almost right, but it's not quite right, and it just like falls into the back of your brain and like disturbs you in the weirdest way. I don't know if that was the intention, but it's worth checking out. 2 weeks, the video for 2 weeks of Grizzly Bear is a fucking trip, man.
Yeah, I'll have to see it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really fucking weird. That's what got me into the band. I saw that video and I was like, oh, I've got to listen to these guys.
Yeah, I'm more of a Department of Eagles guy. Their side
I
project.
don't know them. Yeah, I don't know them. I mean,
who's
I'm a
one of
real
the- one of the
Grizzly
guys.
Bear casual. I know like Vecatomist and that's it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I stopped about there, but I like them. But Department's got some real sweet albums.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I should check it out.
In Ear Park, you should check that out.
Okay. Have they released anything in a while? Have they released anything in a while? I haven't heard anything from the Grizzly Bear camp in a long time.
Oh, I haven't.
Grizzly Bear did have an album last year. But
Did they?
I wasn't that into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens. Maybe they're like the Fountains
Yeah.
of Wayne of indie rock. Like, oh, they're still putting out records? That's cool.
Yeah.
It's not Stacey's mom. I don't care. So, I mean, Vampire Weekend kind of became that, too. Like,
Yeah.
Vampire Weekend just, like, came and went.
Oh, totally.
Like, I don't know where they are now or what's going on. I think Ezra was, like, making soundtrack music or something like that for something, and then they're gone. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, beats
Whatever.
me.
When Phantom Party first came on the scene, Vampire Weekend was the shit. It was like 2015. Like, everyone's talking about Vampire Weekend, like, all day, every day.
It was that was
They blew up.
huge.
They were huge.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. So, like, where do you guys like to play around? Like, I know, like, I've seen you guys play certain venues more than once, but where do you guys like to play a lot?
I mean, we like just where we're comfortable, so we like to play the Rogue Bar a lot.
Yeah, I
And
like
we
the
do.
Rogue. I
I
like
like live down the street from Rogue Bar too.
Nice.
So,
I want to live in that neighborhood so bad.
it's great.
I mean, Manny's the shit.
Yeah, man,
So-
it's great.
yeah.
That combined with the sound is great there,
Mm-hmm.
and just people that care about you.
Well, like all the stateside venues are great.
Of course.
Rebel Lounge is great.
Yeah.
Last Exit's great.
Last Exit does not get the credit that it deserves. Like, Last Exit, I've invited so many people to shows at Last Exit, and they're always just like, ugh. But like it's sound
it's
is
only
fantastic.
the location.
Yeah, it's the location
Yeah.
exactly. The
Yeah.
sound is amazing over there.
They knew getting into that. But
It's like an industrial park or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's in a weird spot.
well, and
Well, yeah,
now,
they got
and
the
now
sound
the
and the
buildings.
lights, and it's always cold.
Yeah,
That's a
it
big thing
is.
here.
Yeah, dude. It's great.
Right? That's a big plus.
Yeah,
The
bands
patio
always
area
sound
is
great.
nice. Yeah, the bands sound great. Yeah, dude, Last Exit's cool. Rogue is crazy. I feel like I doubt that he even knows that this podcast exists, but if Manny were to ever stumble onto even half the episodes of this show, he would never let me in the doors of that place ever again. 'Cause I talked so much shit about the Rogue on this show, it's not even funny. But that's not because the sound isn't great. It's because my band did not draw there when we were active because that wasn't our demographic. So
Yeah.
I've played like so many Tuesday night Rebel shows to Manny, like over my life, like so fucking many, and they always like suck. So and the parking lot is ass.
Yeah.
but like,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Manny's the best. That's the thing though.
They
Like,
did just repave, actually.
Did they repave? Did they add more? did
It's
they-
not diagonal anymore.
It's not diagonal anymore.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I take back.
But there
everything
is
I ever
medians,
said.
so you can't just drive right through it. That is annoying.
That's fine.
Curbs.
That diagonal thing was stupid. I don't understand why it was that way.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's awful.
A diagonal parking lot that's
Having
also
to
on a
direct people out of the
decline.
parking lot. Like, don't in my car, please.
Yeah, I've seen so many fender benders happen in that
Yeah.
parking lot.
It's like on a hill and it's diagonal. Like it's awful. So yeah, now I take back everything I ever said about the Rogue. But it's crazy though, dude. Like the Rogue is one of those things where people either love it or they hate it. Like either it fits
totally.
your demographic and what you do or it doesn't. Like we've played. There's only been one show there that we've played that was fucking like packed out, and that was that Redemption Summer Bummer show.
Oh yeah.
That was fucking amazing. There were so many in comparison to the shows I played before. It was a really, really good night.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a really good show. You guys fucking killed it that night. You guys were still in it at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool. I don't.
Yeah, up until
The very bitter end.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say bitter.
Not bitter.
No.
That's good. I don't know anything about what like the Redemptions was like there, and then it like wasn't there anymore, and then
True.
I was like, okay, that sucks because I fucking like really dug that first Redemption track EP.
Yeah. it was-
Ari might be mixing some of the last tracks. I
Yeah,
don't know,
I've-
that might pop up.
I've given
There's
him
like
some
4
bass
more
parts for
songs.
new songs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Anthony just got married. He's been doing a lot of other stuff.
Yeah,
But he's not going to stop making music, and I'll probably end up making more with him later.
yeah, do it for sure. I'm gonna say something, and you guys don't have to say anything to this because I'm not gonna implicate anybody but myself here. But when Redemptions went down or stopped or whatever, wait, he has a wife now.
Yeah.
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
he just got married.
Sorry, they literally just like
Yeah.
just like
Shout out to Anthony and
yeah.
Julie.
Yeah, shout out. But I do have to say this, and this is just me. This ain't nothing on you guys. When Redemptions went down, obviously, like Anthony didn't seem happy about it, which is completely understandable. But, and this is just kind of a call out to a lot of the musicians. I have a lot of musicians who listen to the show. A lot of them are young and they're getting into bands and stuff like that. If something doesn't go your way, don't fucking blame the crowd. And that's what he did on a Facebook post. Is he was like complaining that like no one wants rock stars anymore, yada yada yada. And that just seems so fucking cheap to me. And like Anthony's a friend. Like I'll fucking tell him that. Like I think he's gonna come on the show at some point in the future. But like that drove me nuts. How he was like, people don't want rock stars anymore. It's like, fuck no. That's not what it is at all. That has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, there's a million different definitions for rock star.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But still, like I don't know. That like I've been thinking about that for a while and I haven't brought it up in the show before. But now, with Psychedelephants, I see you guys around a bunch in the press and stuff too. Like do you guys do a lot with Yabium, right? Don't they like shout you guys out quite a bit?
You know, we try to reach out and we've done some we did Radio Phoenix with them.
Dude, that's the best.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
They've covered reviews and things like
They
that.
came
of
to
us.
my pool party.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Got some cameos showing up at the pool party.
Yeah. They took pictures and shit too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a
They're
house show
great.
pool party. Yeah.
They're fantastic, man. They're like the best people ever. I feel bad. We got one of the guys who works for them in trouble once. Or not them, but one of the guys that works for Radio Phoenix. Chuck, Charles Pike.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
met
he was-
him.
He's
Yeah.
great. He's a great dude. But the first night he ever flew solo on on his own like live show, Phantom Party was on, and we got him in a lot of trouble because we started telling like really lewd stories. And like we never cursed, but we were just like telling real dirty stories and stuff, and like. And
Not in front of the children.
Oh, and then like we came back, so like I came back to represent Getting Stoked, and he's like, "Hey, you have to come in a couple hours early because we have to pre-record your episode." And I was like, "Oh, no. They don't trust me." That's great though, man. Like, I mean, it all just came down to a prank. Like, do you guys ever fuck with each other a bunch? Like, you got to, right? You're hanging out with a bunch of dudes. You guys tour a lot?
We only did the one tour this year.
Where'd you go?
We hit L.A. and San Francisco, and
you went to San Fran?
Yeah, it was
What
fun.
was that like? I haven't been there.
It was great.
You know, it's
it was a lot
mostly
of fun.
driving, hard to get in. Then you pretty much we played at El Rio on Mission Street. It was a great show, and
A really cool bar.
yeah, definitely. Then we drove through Yosemite, where I filmed the music video for Fata Morgana.
Nice.
And then we went down to stop in Vegas before we played in Flagstaff.
Where'd you play in Flagstaff?
Cornish Pasty.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. That room's awesome. The drums sound amazing in there.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
record drums like at the
That would
corner
be
shop.
awesome.
The manager said it was cool.
Big
So.
shout out to Cornish Pasty.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been there. I've played the Hive. That's the only venue I've played.
That's where we
over
were originally gonna play. Actually.
there. Yeah. It
Yeah.
probably worked out better for you guys to play Cornish Pass.
Yeah. Our friend Jay hooked us up and moved us last second. He's
Yeah.
like, "This would be a better gig."
Yeah, for sure.
We ran out of gas in Nevada coming out of Yosemite.
Ooh, how would you handle it?
We got about 10 miles outside of Tonopah, and kind of sat there and like took a breath, and then
We were on hold with AAA, and
because it was
Yeah, I
also
remember.
like 3:34 in the morning or something. Yeah, AAA is just you really gonna get that and then wait hours, but called a tow company in the nearest town, and he was like, "Nope, happens all the time."
Yeah.
Gotta wake my guy up.
He goes, what did he tell Spencer? He goes, "Did you make it past Goldfield?" Like he's just used to be.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he knew exactly like
Yeah.
our, you know.
So they
approximate
came out within
trajectory,
like
yeah.
30, 45 minutes.
That's awesome.
Gave us a
man.
couple gallons to get to town, and then crashed at a buddy's in Vegas before we went to Flag.
Hell yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I
That's-
think it's a good little side business they got running.
Yeah.
Before we hit Vegas, we drove through Beatty, Nevada, which is, it's like a one-horse town. But in this case, there's just like 3 donkeys walking across the street with like
They
a
chased the horse out.
light fog at 4:30 in the morning and like one yellow light
The donkeys were very majestic.
in the
time.
middle of the intersection, nothing around.
So we fed them some Ritz crackers.
Yeah. We invited them over and they hung out
They
with us.
started
for a
like
little
surrounding
bit.
the car. We had to get out of there.
Don't feed it.
We're like, "Oh, there's a gang of them. We got to go."
Like,
gang of them.
they're still hungry. We don't have any more crackers.
Oh man, they're organizing to take your shit.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
That's awesome, man. Like,
We're going to try to make our way out to Chicago next year.
ooh,
Maybe
why Chicago?
maybe like Denver to Chicago. Our buddies in Jaybird and Condor do a fest called Bird Fest. They did one this summer. They had some bands like Holy Wave on it. But he was hanging out in Phoenix and he invited us to do that. He's like, "I'll help you book a tour between Denver. At least get me in contact with the right people."
Totally, yeah. I mean, if you guys need any hookups in Colorado, I got you. I got.
Yeah,
really,
that's
really
one
good
thing I
contacts
don't
in
like
Colorado.
Nice.
is the whole tour booking thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of
It's
what
a-
we're looking in the future.
it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
Booking tours yourself is really rough.
it sucks.
Like when we had Trevor from Sundressed on, he was like, "I'm so happy I don't have to fucking book this tour myself." Like,
Oh yeah, that sounds like a dream.
yeah, it does,
Yeah.
right? Fuck, man.
Yeah, I'm stressed just even like thinking about booking another tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only got 3 shows, but it still sucked.
You can turn you can turn it around though. Just be like, all right,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is the time that I'm setting aside. I'm gonna put on some music, I'm gonna smoke a bowl, whatever, have some drinks, and I'm just gonna chill at my computer and just bang out these emails and write everything down and get everything kind of set up where it needs to be. And you can kind of lose yourself in that kind of work, but then you have to think about it afterwards.
Yeah.
You have to
Then
go-
the no replies from
Yeah.
Yeah.
people.
you have to go to bed with on your mind.
It
and
gets
then
to me.
wake
I'm
up.
like, I just want to be writing more music.
Yeah.
I want that to be my job.
What is that? So is that your?
Oh,
is
if
that?
only.
Do you like the traveling a lot, or do you just like writing music a lot? Do you like performing? Where's your kind? Where? Let's go around the table and see like what's your guys' favorite thing about being in the band, or any band for that matter. Is it the writing process? Is it touring? Is it?
For me, it's pretty
Performing.
split because I mean I really like the creative process in the studio, but I also like, you know, the rush of being on the stage when everything's locked in and, you know, you could tell people are feeling it and.
Yeah, that's like the biggest rush when you're like
Yeah, I guess the
you get
stage
really
is,
tight and like
is
crowds
the-
into it, like. But you have to have the other part to get to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of a hard one.
But we
Yeah.
definitely want to travel more too.
Yeah, the creative process, I'd say, creating everything. I mean, especially since it started from just me creating things, I like to create a lot of more conceptual stuff now, and some farther out ideas, and that's a lot of fun. Just always challenging and pushing and trying to do something new, something I've never heard before, and then you find out other people haven't heard it before, and that's always cool, you know. That confirmation of originality, I guess.
There you go. Yeah. What about you, Spencer?
Yeah, I love the creative process.
Who's the creative
Yeah.
process?
I just like when I'm by myself, I just try and sit down and like think of something I can't play and then keep going until I can play it. You know. And
or,
then,
or like challenging
just, like, yeah,
yourself
then
and
bringing
like
stuff
something
in, like-
different comes out of that, you know.
bring in like a weird part to the guys and be like, can you play to this? Is this something you can play, dude?
Right.
What is your drum setup like?
It's pretty basic. Like I just have one tom up, floor tom, snare drum, crash ride,
Standard.
hi-hat. Yeah, like
That's all you need.
easy to carry around, you know.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And it's all you need. You can
Yeah.
make that sound like so. I'm a classically like trained drummer. Like that's the only instrument that I have actually like been taught, I guess,
Mhm.
properly on.
Mhm.
And that was the biggest pain in the ass for me to be in a band where I wasn't playing the drums. Was
Yeah.
always like, just let me get back there.
Yeah.
Like no, Austin was an amazing drummer, but he's self-taught. So naturally, because I was like beat over the head with like technique and stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I'm always like, that crash is not a fucking right, Austin. Like, so like now, what other, do you just play drums, or you're all over the map, right? I've seen you play other shit, haven't you?
No, I just play drums.
That's it.
Yeah.
Fuck, never mind. Whatever. I thought whatever, fine. I don't know why I'm getting
Miles
angry.
plays all over the place.
Yeah.
He does drums, bass, guitar. I play a little bit of drums, you know, mostly bass guitar.
I play all kind of string instruments.
Really?
None of us play horns or
Yeah.
like
I can play clarinet.
classical strings at all, which is too bad. Oh yeah, you can do at least Jurassic Park on clarinet.
Yeah.
You can do really. You can do
I
Jurassic
played
Park
like I
clarinet?
started out on clarinet and like up until middle school I switched to drums in like 7th grade.
Nice, dude. Switching to drums in like band or percussive band or whatever is
Yeah.
such a pain. It just like for me anyway. Up until you get into like drumline, if you're really committed, it just
Yeah, I
sucks
love
the
it.
life out of
Yeah.
drums.
Yeah. Concert band. Yeah.
Concert band, yeah, that's what
Waiting
I did.
for your triangle hit.
Yeah, I was about to say, triangle. Like if you're lucky, you can get on the timpani.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that was me. I didn't have the discipline for drumline.
Mhm.
I was way too because I was taught somewhere else how to play drums. Like
Yeah.
I was not conforming to the way that they wanted me to do it. So like concert band was where I was because I just refused to like follow directions.
Yeah.
So it sucked, man. Like you're lucky if you get to sit on the snare drum
Yeah,
and do like
definitely.
little flam
Rolls.
hits every
Yeah.
once in a while. Maybe like a little.
Hope it's not a
roll.
march.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy though how like school can do that. It
Mhm.
can kind of like pull the love you have for something out of it. I have so many friends who went to college for music and they just fucking
Yeah.
like stopped being in bands and they stopped playing music because they're just like suddenly this is something that you're
Yeah.
studying and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah. I almost I couldn't afford it, but I got into Berkeley in Boston. I'm almost
Whoa.
glad I couldn't afford it. I don't know.
Damn.
Who knows?
Nah, bro, you fucked up.
I could have never paid those loans off.
Yeah, no.
It's like
Oh man.
it was like 75,000 a semester or some
whoa.
Holy
Damn.
Oh, man.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
And then what? You're gonna be like,
And
a
then you
really
have to
good
also
musician?
afford living in Boston because there's no student housing.
Oh wow.
Dude, man, just sleep in the bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go down to the shore.
Living in a van down by the river.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Just cover
man.
yourself in textbooks.
Yeah.
Stay warm.
They're the most expensive thing you'd own anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Dude, yeah, that'd be rough. Imagine being homeless, but also, like, having valuable things, but they're just textbooks.
Yeah.
Like, they're heavy
Like
and
thousands
they're
of dollars.
not even that useful.
Yeah.
Like, at least, like, right now we're carrying around phones and shit. You're just carrying around, like, textbooks. Like, you can't do anything with them. Beat your enemies with them. That's crazy, man. Berkeley, shit. Did you guys go to college?
I did a little bit. Yeah, I did some
Little
for graphic design, web design, which I still do a lot of graphic design. I do all our artwork, you know, for the band.
My dog's an idiot. Sorry. I let her whine in here and everything though, because she's kind of like a mascot for the show at this point. Almost.
Sure.
People like hearing her in the background every once in a while.
No, I didn't. I dropped out, but that was back in Ohio.
You're from Ohio. Have we talked about this?
Maybe I grew up in Toledo.
Nice-ish. Not really. Kind
Yeah.
of.
I think I just saw a thing. It's like one of the 5 most stressful cities in America.
Is it really?
Like, what a
Is there a
thing to like
statistic for
judge,
that?
I guess. Maybe it was just a meme. What's real anymore?
That's crazy. I lived in Dayton.
Oh, nice. That's
Sorry,
where Brainiac's from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge Brainiac fan.
Nice.
Spencer, you made a
90s
friend.
noise
Sorry,
rock.
my dog has jumped up onto Spencer. That's what she'll do, dude. You can just like knock her off.
Oh,
but
it's
that's
all
what,
good.
That's what she does, man. She thinks she's a little pup,
Yeah.
little pupper. She's like a
I got a bunch of
3-year-old
chihuahuas at
dog.
home, so I'm pretty used to.
Yeah, she's happy as hell right now. Yeah, dude, I'm from like a small farming suburb of Dayton, just outside of Miamisburg. Like that's where I lived. For, like,
What was the name of it?
Germantown is the name of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just a little farm. Like I went to Farmersville Elementary School. Like it was fucking white. But that's where I spent the first 15 years of my life, and then I moved out here, and there was a culture shock.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy. When did you move out here?
2010, so I was already in my 20s.
Had you been here before?
I just visited for like 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and then had to make a decision, but
What was that?
the
like?
job I was at paid for it all.
So what was it like to visit here after living? I mean, I did it after 15 years. I can't imagine how you did it after 20.
Well, I was moving out of Pittsburgh, actually. I lived there for a couple years.
That's a little easier.
I did some moving around in, you know, my late teens and early 20s, and then made my way out here and thought I would only be out here for maybe 4 more years, but started playing music, so I stayed.
There you go, dude. The music scene out here is amazing.
It's ridiculous.
Like it's
It's all over the place. It got its ups and downs, you know.
like the biggest.
There's so many talented people here. It's crazy.
It's like the biggest little scene.
Mhm.
Like
yeah, so diverse.
Yeah, like it's just big enough to where it's extremely diverse, and there's all kinds of amazingly talented people all over the map. But it's just small enough where you will run into the same people at shows, and
Yeah.
you know if there's a band who's huge, everyone that's knows who they are. Unlike LA, where I have friends who are in bands in LA, and I'm like, oh, have you ever heard of this band they have got like millions and millions of listens on every one of their songs, and like I have no fucking idea who that person is. That could never happen in Arizona. But I like that. It's like, and it's close.
You
to
get like
LA.
1,000 listens, and people are like, "Oh, who are these guys?"
I know who these guys are. Yeah, exactly, right? And then all of a sudden, like, Playboy Man Baby, for instance, is, like, huge celebrity status in
Yeah.
the local music scene. Dead, even, is another one. Like, okay, you need to chill the fuck out right now. Eventually, my girlfriend will mercifully let her out. But, so, yeah, it's crazy. I love the music scene here is great. The people are so supportive here for the most part. I mean, I don't know. Have you had experiences otherwise? We don't have to name names, but have you had experiences otherwise where people are a little kind of
Yeah,
not so much?
there's times. I mean, there's a lot of assholes on this earth,
Oh yeah, of
you know.
course.
But you know, once you find out, you just don't work
Sidestep
with them
that bad
anymore.
boy. Yeah,
It's easy to weed
Process
people
of
out.
elimination.
totally.
You know,
We just
try
actually
not
had a
to get
band
burned in the
rip
process.
us off last weekend at our show.
You what?
We had a band rip us off last weekend at our show.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll talk about this afterwards for sure and name names. But
Okay.
unless you're really angry, then you could definitely talk about it here.
I did actually call them out today. Their name is Sugar Water.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it was
So
the
fuck
first
the-
time hearing them and
Scott's-
seeing them.
Apparently, they think
Scott's
they're the
so
hottest shit.
But they
out.
took apparently they took 3 envelopes thinking they were all for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was this at?
A rock bar.
Where?
Rock bar in
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale.
I've never even heard of Rock Bar. Where's Rock Bar?
It's like Old Town.
It's in Old Town.
Yeah, it's in the cut. In Old
Yeah, so
Town
there was
off.
like 3 separate envelopes for the 3 bands that played, and this guy took all 3 of the envelopes.
Huh.
I guess there's one envelope with 2 empty envelopes in it. I don't know. It's this whole
Weird.
thing. But,
That sucks. Fuck sugar water. Hashtag fuck sugar water. I'm all for that.
It's
Who gives a shit?
super lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done a lot of generous things for touring bands, especially. You just give it all away, you know.
Touring bands make sense.
It's
for
usually
like-
like $5 or some shit anyway.
Yeah, it's
half
not
the
that
time.
much.
Like,
Yeah.
Like I get it for
it's just
touring
on
bands.
principle. Like, don't take the shit. You know.
Yeah, so I'm like, is these guys a touring band? They're like, no, they're just whatever. And apparently they have a reputation.
Leave while you're still on stage, so it's not like you can do anything about it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's fucking disgusting, man. That sucks. Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, now where do you guys kind of fit into the music scene, I guess? Like, because everyone has a little niche. Everyone has a little echo chamber that they live inside of. And I hate that. And I've kind of tried to make this show anti that by bringing on as many different people as I can. But, like, me, like, when we were in the indie scene. So, like, we knew every indie band under the sun. But I didn't know any of the metal bands that were happening. I didn't know any of the experimental electronic or hip-hop or even punk rock, to that matter. A little bit. There's a little bit of crossover. But... like, where do you guys kind of fit into that, I guess? Who do you play with a lot?
I think there's a whole lot of crossover.
Good. I can see that with
and
your
that's
music.
and that's because, I mean, starting back when we did, it was like Long Wongs on Apache was at its height of bands coming in and out of there. And you kind of get in that whole group of people, and it doesn't matter what music you're playing. You're there to have fun and bring people out and have a good time. That... you know, even though those bars might not exist, it's still, that whole idea still exists to this day. There's a lot more new bands.
Yeah,
There's
I
always
feel
new
like
bands.
it used to be like Sasquatch, Woodworks, Rolling Blackouts, Psychedelphants, but
Yeah.
a lot of those guys aren't around anymore. And we just try and expand around. We try and like hook up with the Phoenix indie psych guys, the Tempe.
I
bands,
love
you know.
playing with like Strangelot and Dent.
Dent,
The
for
garage psychedelic stuff and
Twin Ponies is amazing.
Twin Ponies, yeah.
you know, and we're trying to do stuff with you know, like Bear Ghost.
Burgers.
And
Awesome.
Squeegee.
Captain Squeegee's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I want to do a show with those guys.
Squeegee, Psychedephants, Beargo show.
Yeah, that would
the
be
shit.
awesome.
That's our dream
I've
release
Gotta make
lineup.
that happen.
I
somehow.
brought that up, and let's say Michael Zimmerlich. Let's make that happen.
Oh, he's gonna be on the show at some point, so I'll
Nice.
shoehorn that bad boy in there. The guy with the hat.
Yep.
That's how I describe him.
Sounds like
I've definitely spotted him on the street just because of his hat.
Dude, I had a meeting with somebody once, and I walked in, and they were finishing up with him, and I didn't recognize him, but I recognized the hat. And then, like, whoever I was having the meeting with afterwards, they were like, "Oh yeah, that was Michael from yada yada yada, from 80/20, right?" I was like,
80/20.
"Oh, I knew that hat." Oh yeah, I found sugar water. That's all I had. I don't have anything else to add to that, but I just find them. They play with Puddle of Mud. Wow, no wonder the scam artist. Yeah, it's great, dude. Like, I feel like pushing diversity, trying to put on as many shows as you can with as many different bands as possible is like the absolute way to go. I mean, that's what makes the most sense, right?
Totally.
You want to have bills that make sense because you don't want to alienate your audience.
We
with
also
every
want
single
diversity,
bill, but
you
want
know?
diversity too.
Yeah, and it's easy to kind of make that line fuzzy through just, you know, people that like to have a good time, and the people you really cut out are just the, you know, the jerks and and all that shit.
Totally. Yeah, it's a weird line to walk. Like, you don't want to divide everybody, but you want to have a bill that makes sense. Like, if you put these 4 bands onto one playlist, it would kind of work in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a festival, then fucking whatever.
Anything goes.
No rules apply. But I would love a festival, man. That'd be so much fun. That would be the most stressful thing I ever did.
To put one together.
Throw a festival.
I've thought about it, and
Yeah?
then it's hard to make that leap into I'm really gonna do it. You know,
I know, me too.
you're like, oh, this is like gonna be at least a year of my life, and I probably won't be able to do anything else if I do that. So I mean, like, I wouldn't be able to release albums.
Do you book
if
now?
I'm trying to put a festival together.
I know that you are responsible for a lot of posters.
Yeah, I do a lot of graphic art.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of the booking as well? Do you kind of handle the stuff behind the scenes in that aspect too?
We've been spreading it out more and more. I'd say I took a lot of the effort on myself at the beginning, but more and more we all contribute to that type of thing.
Yeah, I think when I came in, like I had already been booking for my old band. So
Right. Yeah. Miles will do some. Caitlin will do a little bit.
And we all have friends who just hit us up, throw shows at us
Mhm.
all the time too.
That's what
So
happened with
definitely
us.
helps.
We got a pretty good response. Like
That's good.
we're kind of down to do those weekday shows if it's in short notice.
Uh-huh.
'Cause that's fun for us. It gets us together to play more.
Yeah.
Good practice.
We're playing
Anything.
tomorrow night at Rogue.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're playing early, before open mic. It should be good.
Oh, that should be kind of fun.
Oh yeah. We just get to use all our energy and then chill out, and
Yeah.
some friends will come in and do the open mic thing.
The nice
And
thing,
there's a touring band coming in, and that's why there's still supposed to be a
yeah.
little bit of draw before, I guess.
The nice thing about Rogue though is you get to pack up right onto the stage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking around. Last Exit's the same way. I mean, you
Yeah.
just go to that stupid ramp, but other than that, it's great.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I love it.
It's fantastic. So there's that open mic at Rogue. Really interesting.
They do it every Wednesday, and sometimes they replace it for a show.
Huh.
In this case, just this touring band was coming through, asked us if we wanted to play, and we were like, sure, why not? And then Manny was like, well, I want to do open mic after. And I was like, okay, sure, why not?
Totally.
Yeah, we can make it, so yeah, let's do it.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's rad. Yeah, he's cool. We left a merch box at Rogue, and then we got it back a year later. we
Yeah.
didn't know where it was. We just all assumed that one of us had it and lost it. And then we
Yeah.
played a show there, and the guy behind the bar was like, "Banner party, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Hold on a second." And he brings back. I was like, "Wow, my old shit!" Yes, we can make money again.
Yes, that's great.
We left all our merch there the day before we went to Tucson recently.
Ooh.
I had to go
Oh,
in at
yeah.
7:30 in the morning. They opened at 6 or 7.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
But they had it behind the bar, kept for us.
Yeah.
All
Good
nice.
stuff.
What a bummer.
Touring band stole a
time.
guitar from him once. And they had it on security camera. And then he threatened their agent, and he ended up getting that guitar back in the mail overnighted the next day. You'll never work again if this gets out. They're like, oh shit.
Damn, going hard as fuck. Dude, Hot Rock Superjoint put on a couple fucking badass shows at Rogue. He's packed that place out before too.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to those shows.
He's great.
I mean, I've seen him play.
He's
I
the
like
best.
Bud's Glass Joint, not at Rogue Bar.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, Bud's Glass Joint's great too. Bud's Glass Joint. Sponsor me, motherfucker. I will totally rep your ass.
All right.
Bud's Glass Joint. But yeah, dude, Hot Rock's fun. There's a really fun little there's a bunch of little fun niches in Phoenix. It's rad, man. Good times. Good times.
Hell yeah.
So, do you guys have a release slated for the new EP? Have we talked about that yet? I don't think we have.
We're trying to
wanna
finish
do
it
it
before Apache.
Apache, yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Apache.
So
We
by
want
October?
to have
Like
a
maybe the
copy of it to
Beginning
sell
of
at Apache.
October.
Yeah, we'll probably
Nice little fall release.
take our slot at Apache and just throw our physical release into that set, and debut the actual album at the festival. But we'll probably release the album online and the other content that we'll be working on all at once. Just a giant one-day dump.
Where is Apache Music Festival?
Apache Lake.
Where's that at? I don't even know where that is.
If you drive out, I think it's 89 or something. It goes out east of Apache Junction, past Saguaro and Canyon Lake. You get to Apache Lake.
Huh, so they're trying to do a little... That's interesting. So it's just in the middle of nowhere. It's like a
Yeah,
Burning Man type
It's
situation.
at the marina, right on the water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have a big outdoor stage and then a big indoor stage, and then there's also the
There's an
open mic
acoustic
kind of
stage,
acoustic
open-
stage.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people camping right on the beach. You can swim in the lake, boat on the lake.
There's there's a hotel too.
Dude,
It's
I
great
might-
time.
I've been talking with my
It's
friends
so
about,
much fun.
I've been talking to my buddies about getting renting a pontoon boat and going out on a lake somewhere. I should totally go out for Apache Music
Oh,
Festival.
yeah,
The
Yeah,
lineup's really good this year.
Yeah, it's
Who else
a
is
lot
on
of
it?
good music.
Captain Squeegee, Bear Ghost,
Oh yeah, they play I
Twin
think,
Ponies.
usually.
Twin Ponies,
Um,
Hyperbella.
House of Stairs, Snailmate,
Snail Mate's the shit.
Jaffe's Descent, Sixa from Tucson.
Okay.
They're really cool. I don't
Stonehenge
know.
is
A bunch of great bands.
There's a
but-
bunch more.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fun, dude. That's gonna
Yeah.
be rad. I've gotta do that.
Yeah.
Get a boat and be like, "Yo, what's up, guys?"
Right.
You went on a boat last year, didn't you?
Maybe last year or the year before I did. I don't know.
Over
It's
there?
hard. It's hard to remember exactly what year I did what.
It's hard to remember.
It's a big
when-
party.
Well, when
It's
it
a-
comes to
You
being
might
on
catch
a-
me running around as a dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
You shouldn't remember which year you were on a boat. Usually, you're having a fucking good time.
Yeah, jamming at 6 in the morning with Mr. Mud and Mr. Gold.
Oh my God! Don't even fucking start. Dude. Mr. Mom, Mr. Gold's so good.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
absolutely.
Shit. I love like the Americana folk kind of country thing that's like exists in Arizona, like American Longspurs and Mr. Mud, Mr. Gold,
Yeah.
and, Some Dark Hollow and all that shit. Like I love that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're
great.
super nice dudes too.
Yeah, they are. He showed up once. I saw them at a show, and they showed up, and Tyler is just in all denim. Everything.
Yeah, Canadian
Everything is
tux.
in denim.
Yeah.
Everything. And I was like, oh, the man, they're here. We ready.
Yeah, they show up.
Fuck yeah. The guy's like suitcase that he like puts his fucking kick pedal on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good shit. Good shit, man. Love
Yeah,
it.
totally.
It's very like stripped down Yvette Brothers kind of fun, good time stuff. Yeah.
I've heard they've been doing some full band sets. I haven't seen it yet, though.
Really?
I would definitely want to check it out.
I've
I
heard
would
some more
love-
about that. Yeah,
I would love to see that.
I heard they played a good one with Decker the other night.
I haven't met him. Have you met
Yeah,
Brandon?
yeah, Brandon's
Decker?
awesome.
Yeah,
Is he
he's a good
cool?
guy.
Yeah, I've known him
Yeah.
for like 7 years also, probably the same time when the band started.
Considering getting him on the show, but I don't like know him.
Oh, get to know him then. Yeah,
Yeah?
have him on.
Okay, cool. I'll have to do that. Because fuck, I've seen his...
He's got a lot of stories.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen his vinyl at like Zia and shit before. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, good for you.
yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Okay, he's been on my list forever. I need to just fucking pull the trigger. Get him on here. Seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So what do you guys got lined up over the next like month or so?
Spencer's birthday show we're doing in September. We're gonna play all Queens of the Stone Age songs.
No fucking way.
Yeah, full set.
You should have led with that, homeboy.
Well, you know, just throw it in like nothing.
That's rad.
Yeah,
When
we've been
I-
doing a lot of practice for that. It's
What
fun.
eras are you guys covering?
As
We're
much as
hitting
we
every
can.
all
album.
over the place.
All every
At
album?
least one song from every album.
Yeah.
Really? Are you guys just hitting singles, or you're going a couple deep cuts too?
Deep cuts.
Yeah, there's
Yeah?
not a whole
And
lot
singles.
of singles.
We
It's not like no one
all
knows
picked
none of
our
that
favorite
stuff.
ones and like narrowed it down from there, basically.
Whoa. Okay. So without giving any spoilers, can we talk about some of the songs that you guys are doing? Because I love.
I mean,
Queens
we
of
can
Stone Age.
start with 'cause we're
Like last night, we went over. I sat by the ocean.
Oh, it's such a good song. That record is so good.
and My God Is a Son.
and my God is the sun.
It's
Great
2 songs
song.
off of a Light Clockwork we're doing.
I'm in the minority. I like the new record a fuck of a lot.
It's great.
It's
I
awesome.
love
I really
the new
like
record.
it.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it enough. I don't think to really get into. I mean, I liked it, but
What's the song we're doing on?
it's not my favorite.
Domesticated Animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good song.
That's the song we're gonna do off that.
That's a good one. I like the opener on that record. I don't remember the name of it.
Feet Don't Fail Me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't Fail Me
it just
Now.
kee's building at the beginning. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives a great interview about that, where
Yeah.
because Josh always gives the best interviews.
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking about how that song is built to just like rip the rug out from under you, like right at that moment. That's exactly what it does. It
Yeah.
just builds and builds and builds and builds and just fucking like fucks you in the face. Like it's great. He's great at that.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah, cool.
loves that. He is what I feel like we need in like I feel like rock music always needs to have a guy like that. Like
Yeah.
he's just completely like reckless. You like people get angry at him because they don't agree with him. And like, yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's like kind of a classic rock star in that. Like
Yeah.
he's like you
Lit
don't
on.
have to agree with everything that he says. Like okay, like just because he likes guns doesn't mean that you can't listen to his music.
Yeah.
Like fucking idiot. Like come on, man. It's not that big of a deal. Like he's a great musician. His band is phenomenal. And Like Clockwork was one of the best comebacks in like rock history, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
Yeah, the album's great.
you
Yeah,
wanna
I mean,
talk
that-
about a band really making a comeback.
During that break, what did he do? Them Crooked Vultures.
Yeah.
I mean, he was busy.
It was okay, and then he was sick. Like he almost like died, I guess, at one point. Like he was super sick, and then he came back with Vampire of Time and Money or Vampire of Time and Memory, which like when you know his backstory about like being on death's door for X amount of years, like oh shit, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just like a brutal comeback, just like ripped his way back in and made them relevant again. People who I would have never expected in a million years to like Queens of the Stone Age suddenly are buying their records. Like all my indie kid friends.
Yeah,
are like,
totally.
Dude, like the kids who would never be caught dead listening to fucking Songs for the Deaf or any of that other kind of stuff. They wrote it all off as radio rock and butt rock and whatever. And then Vampire came out, and suddenly, like, all my little indie friends are like, dude, this is so good.
I like to give a lot of that credit to John Theodore, because that's when he jumped in.
Oh,
and
okay.
then like all of a sudden all these new people liked him.
Yeah.
I think they're just a little bit more solid in the percussion stance.
For
they were
sure.
jumping drummers and bass players around for a long time.
Yeah,
it was just
Grohl,
you know, it's kind of it's Josh's thing to be able to do that, and he's used to doing desert sessions, and that kind of made
Ronson's
sense.
a huge thing.
Well, yeah, the
Impact
new
on that.
producing.
Big turn on production.
Yeah, that
definitely.
was a weird choice. But
Mark Ronson's is awesome.
But I feel like once they settled on the band members since about 2015, then it really started to give people a chance to actually grab on, because if you're switching members every album, makes it hard to keep being into.
Yeah,
You know?
when I heard that Mark Ronson was doing production, I was like, like I would have never. If you gave me like a multiple choice test on which producer is going to do the next Queen's
And at the
record,
same
I would have
time,
never been like, oh yeah, the guy that did Uptown Funk, totally.
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it sounds great. Totally worked, and you can kind of hear him.
Yeah, you can hear it in the drums.
I think that's the
They
same
brought
kind
a
of
lot
thing.
some like synths, cool synth shit. I feel like.
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
a lot of synthy stuff.
Yeah, man, I dug it. I was surprised at the reception. The reception was kind of lukewarm on it. That
Yeah, I had a
surprised
lot of
me.
friends who like longtime Queens fans who hated it.
Yeah,
and I was like,
well, why?
I don't get it.
Did they
The
give
drums
any-
are mixed a little bit, you know, more tight, like barely any cymbals.
Yeah, like saying it was too like dancey. I guess that was
Oh.
like the main complaint I got. Like it was
it's good.
not
I
as
like it a lot.
complicated. But
whatever?
yeah,
They
exactly.
they always-
sounds like you.
They always had the robot rock thing going from the beginning, so
Totally.
like it's not like they're doing something new there.
Even
Yeah.
from the like self-titled, they had that kind of
Mhm.
like they had a I mean,
very
sure,
repetitive drums. usually,
yeah, repetitive drums. Like sure, maybe in like the self-titled era, you were dancing with people who you were worried might give you crabs, and that's not necessarily the instance anymore. It's a little cleaner, it's a little bit more fun, but like it's still there. It's the same shit. He's still playing his scales in that weird way that he does, and that kind of anti-melody thing that
Right.
like Greg Ginn did a lot in Black Flag. That kind of like
Yeah,
playing
absolutely.
the weird notes that you wouldn't expect to hear and stuff.
Yep.
And
into Fugazi and
yeah, Fugazi, exactly.
yeah, all about that shit.
Yeah, dude, for sure. What were some of your earliest music influences?
As far as writing goes, I mean, there's a lot of like the Beatles for just songwriting structure. That's huge, and then the jazz music is a big influence for me. I did some jazz in college too, and high school. So that was always a big influence and a good way to explore some new note choices and chord choices that are interesting in the songwriting process. But like the Fugazis and those same type of bands, but Shellac and Brainiac for the heavier stuff. I don't know. What about you guys?
Yeah, what about you guys?
I definitely listen to a lot of jazz.
Really?
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite jazz records?
Something Else by Cannonball Adderley. That's probably like my favorite. Just
That's
like
the-
sitting and chilling.
That's the thing
you know.
about jazz music is everyone's like, who?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean
I'm a-
all the classics. I listen to like tons of Miles Davis and Coltrane.
Yeah,
and,
I'm
you
the
know.
biggest jazz
Yeah.
plebe in the world. Like, I
Yeah.
should like hit you up. Send me a list of some
Yeah.
really great jazz records
Yeah.
to listen.
I got a bunch of vinyl. You can just come over. And
Cool. Well, let's
smoke
do
and-
that.
Smoke and listen to some
Yes,
Yeah.
I am absolutely in for that because I need. I know that the jazz that I listen to is like total like of course we all like Blue Train, fucking
Yeah.
casual. Like I get, you know what I mean, and I definitely want to branch out of that a little bit.
Yeah.
That new Kamasi Washington record,
Oh yeah, that shit's
Dope.
dope.
there's a lot to handle, man. As someone who's like
That
not
guy
a
is
jazz
on
fan,
like a next level.
like that record was a lot
Yeah.
to handle. It was like 2 hours, 3 hours. I think it was like
Yeah.
3 hours. I think.
Mhm. He goes big. The last one, like the first album we put out was fucking huge too.
I feel like I enjoyed
it's
the
just,
first
like,
one a little bit better.
such a big production.
Yeah, I feel like the first one had more. I'm not a jazz fan. I'm an aspiring jazz fan, but I don't know a lot about jazz. But I feel like the first one was a little bit more, not consistent, but a little bit more focused. There wasn't. I feel like there was a little bit more filler on the new one. There was a little bit more like it was padded to be like really long.
Yeah.
But you know it was one of those things like. I was listening to because I listened to the whole thing, and I was listening to the new one, and I was listening to it, and I was like, all right, well. This has become an intellectual exercise.
Yeah.
This is no longer me like jamming out to a new album. This is like, all right, now I'm just gonna sit here and check out my like intellectual fortitude and kind of listen to this new Kamasi Washington record. That's rad, dude. So like, but jazz drum. I mean, if you're a drummer,
Yeah.
like
All the best drummers are jazz drummers.
like you grow up as a drummer, and like that's how I was. And, like you were taught. Like I remember getting a magazine. I think it was what's the really big drum magazine? Like the top tier. There's like you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and Drummer's World.
There's like a couple like real big commercial drum
Yeah.
magazines, and I remember being like 14 and getting one, and it was like listed like the top 100 drummers of all time, and I was like hell yeah, and like at the time I was listening to garbage, and as most of us were when we were 14, and I was expecting one of my heroes or whatever to be on the drum list. The Rev from Event Unfold was not on that list.
Joey Jordison.
Yeah, Joey Jordison was not on that list. Although, side note, the Joey Jordison signature Pearl snare drum is the best snare drum I've ever played on in my entire life.
Nice.
Not fucking kidding you. It's big, it's deep, it's dense, but it has the ability to go really high and get that pop crack that he has on his records.
Yeah.
But you can go like real Pantera fat too if you want to. Nice. I love that stuff. Anyway, so bounce is fantastic. So now 14 got that that magazine. Stoked. Got to number 1. Buddy Rich. As like a 14-year-old, I was like, who the fuck is this like old dude? Like, what the hell? And I remember listening to it and being like, these fills don't make sense. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, what? This sounds like a mess. I don't like, and Keith Moon was like up in the top 5 too. Yeah. Again, like I was like, I don't understand what's happening. He's putting fills in these places that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like John Bonham, yes, okay, cool. I can agree with that. I understand this as a 14-year-old like mutant, but like, yeah, dude, jazz drummers are fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
ridiculous. Kalen, what about you? What are some of your early influences?
Early influences, probably like Led Zeppelin, a lot of classic rock, Jimi Hendrix. I learned playing guitar, playing along with the radio when I was a kid. So
that's smart. That's good.
Yeah, pretty self-taught. But yeah, then kind of got into like the Pantera thing and the kind of like the shreddy thing for a while. And
I mean, how can you not if you're a guitar player? Like, how can you not be attracted
big
to
time,
that?
especially in my teenage years, you know. And then kind of got into blues a little more as I got older. And lately, I've been listening to King
Crimson.
No, not King Crimson.
King
I
Gizzard.
haven't on a big King Crimson kick lately, actually.
We've been listening to what are they called? It was
Giles and Fripp. It's like the band that became King Crimson.
Pre-King Crimson.
Okay,
And they were
it has
fucking
like a
out of
very
their
Monty
mind.
Python vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's very silly.
It's
like,
very English and like.
Oh yeah, you should see the album cover. It looks like they're like just on this much acid.
Yeah.
A Bible.
yeah, it's like Syd Barrett level.
Yeah, they're all
acid.
like.
Dude, right? Yes.
It's
Fucking-
good. Peanut teeth.
I could be wrong. Syd Barrett's the OG singer for Pink Floyd, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that first Pink Floyd record, "Piper at the Gates of Dawn," is like in my like top Pink Floyd albums. I love that record.
Oh, that's great.
It is
Oh, yeah,
so
sweet.
crazy.
Mhm.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's bonkers. That
Like-
shit's off the walls.
Yeah, Pink Floyd's a
Off
big
the wall.
influence. Pink Floyd's definitely a big influence for me musically too.
They're great, man.
Oh yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to see Roger Waters live or anything like that?
No.
I've heard those shows are crazy.
No,
Yeah.
I never forked up the money for something like that.
Yeah, me either.
I just watched the Pompeii DVD again.
Yeah, we were watching that last night.
That's crazy, man. That's cool. Those are all cooler answers than mine, which is hair metal. Like I got introduced to my dad introduced me. My mom and my dad introduced me to music through what they were into when they were kids. So like a lot of and what was on the radio at the time. Like I was born in '93, so I was listening to a lot of grunge when I was growing up. A lot of alternative quote unquote radio, which consisted of Stained and bullshit like that. But my parents were really into hair metal, so my first favorite band was Iron Maiden. Like I got fucking heavy into Iron Maiden for a really long time. Still to this day, like Steve Harris is one of my biggest influences when it comes to bass guitar. His gallops are fucking amazing, and his style is so crazy. But yeah, like, and then I got older, and I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe I used to love Poison. Like I used to listen to Def Leppard, like it was the coolest shit ever. But then I, turned 23 and stopped doing that. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, like that's super cool. I wish I was into like really cool music when I was a kid. Like,
I didn't really get into jazz till like high school.
Yeah, I was about to ask. I was literally about to ask.
After I started
like
doing drum lessons and like taking jazz classes in high school, I got into it. But I started off like my parents both just listened to the radio, and then I was like I got into drumming because I was into Slipknot. I was into pretty heavy stuff.
He was a he is a good drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to
super
love
drum
Slipknot
heavy
back in the
music
day.
too. Like
That first album makes you want to. That first album was like the most brutal thing ever.
Yeah.
It was like fuck you, new metal. Like I don't know.
Like System of a Down, I still listen to.
Okay, System of a Down does not get the credit that they fucking deserve at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
That's
System
like a
of
band
Down. That's another
that still
thing.
holds up that I listened to like when I was 12.
Yeah, and you could just sing along to all the words. And it's like you could.
I'm going to that show. I'm so excited.
It's like one of the few I guess heavy bands or metal bands that you could like dance to. You know what I mean? But still has like that just real heavy vibe.
I'm gonna do a YouTube video here pretty soon where I it's funny you bring up System of a Down because I'm gonna do a YouTube video here soon where I review Toxicity.
Nice.
Like just to go back and kind of do a retro review. And I was listening to it again and listening to it like as an adult, I'm way more politically aware. I'm way more cognizant of events and things like that. Listening to it again, it was like, damn, I cannot believe this was a chart-topping, like heavy Billboard charting hitter back in the day. Like with an album
starts
that,
with Prison Song.
Yeah. like where he's literally just rapping off statistics.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that can never happen today. Like a rock band.
I know what
top
the fuck
the charts today with a song where he's just like naming off like the prison system has doubled since 1985. Like it's so crazy, man. Like,
yeah, that definitely like made me more aware of things as a kid.
Right?
Like,
System of a Down was like
I used to listen to like him and Serge from System and Tom Morello had like a radio show together.
Really?
The Axis of Justice.
Dude.
And they would like bring musicians in and interview them, and they would just like play like music they liked.
As a total folk geek, the Night Watchman was great too.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Morello's solo thing was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, ugh, I cannot believe people like Rage Against the Machine were like, this is stupid. But I dug it. Just protest songs and shit. Like that totally worked for me. But yeah, like System of a Down, I'll get it, like I'm all of my friends are hipsters. Like, I'm a total hipster piece of shit too. But like it's one of those things like people just because it's on KUPD, it's suddenly not good. Yeah. And it's like, no. I will agree that the majority of that is not good, but System of a Down is one of those exceptions. Like, and I have gone to bat for Green Day for the same thing. Like, there's a reason that Green Day were like the biggest rock band of my generation.
Yeah, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah, like Green Day is like that. I feel the same way.
Yeah, you can't deny that the songs will get fucking stuck in your head.
Yeah, like
there's like countless catchy albums by Green Day.
Yeah, like it's like it like just it might not be like cool anymore, but those are good rock songs. There's nothing in those songs.
I definitely
that make
learned
them
like
bad
a lot of
songs.
those old Green Day songs. We'd practice after high school.
Yeah, that's
and
probably
that
some
was
of the first stuff I
for the
drummed
sole
to.
reason to just get better at playing in a band. We're like, well, let's just do these Green Day songs. Okay. It was like a good 6 months of just playing Green Day songs.
Green Day.
Never
Nirvana.
played them out live. Never took them out live or anything.
Nirvana's another one.
Oh yeah, they're the ones that really got me into playing guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the okay? Let's go around the table. First guitar part you ever learned, or just part in general? Like
Oh,
first
yeah, I
thing
got
you
that.
locked in.
House of the Rising Sun.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was the only song my dad knew, so he showed it to me.
Nice.
I'm like, this is cool, and then like just went from there.
Very cool. What about you, Paul?
I picked up a guitar and I had learned Wipeout in the first 5 minutes.
Whoa, that's super cool.
Dad, look what I learned. He's like, I'm gonna have to buy him a guitar.
That's so cool, man.
I think like when I first got my kit, I like American Idiot had just come out, so I feel like I had just been playing along to that album like
It's a great record.
right when I started. You know?
Like I will get into physical altercations with people. Like I really do believe that American Idiot is like in the top 10 rock records of the decade. Like no fucking contest.
Didn't that come out around the same time as Toxicity? Probably within a couple of years.
Toxicity was 2000.
Those were the first 2 CDs I bought after
Yeah.
my got my own personal
I
CD
think
player.
Toxicity
Oh,
was
shit.
Like with my own money. I had like CDs gifted
Yeah.
to me before that.
Toxicity
but
was like
I took my own money and bought those 2 CDs together.
I'm gonna say Toxicity was 01, 02, and American Idiot was 04. So I mean, same era, same kind of shit.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, how the fuck do you make an 8-minute song a radio single? Like they like I remember hearing Jesus of Suburbia on the radio and being like, this is fucking crazy. Like, but yeah, man, like it's
Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah, but yeah, it's exactly Bohemian Rhapsody. Another one. Well, now what about you? What were some of the first stuff that you learned, Spencer?
Well, yeah, some Green Day, like System of a Down. Definitely not a lot of Nine Inch Nails. Playing along to Nine Inch Nails. I remember taking it like just sitting down with March of the Pigs for like weeks, like trying to learn that,
Right.
and then being so happy when
I've
I finally
had
got it.
that's on March of the Pigs is on
Downward Spiral.
Downward Spiral. I have what's the record before that one called? The one
Broken, the EP, or
no, not Broken.
Pretty Hate
Full
Machine.
Pretty Hate Machine.
Yeah.
I have Pretty Hate Machine on vinyl. Like I found it for $1 at Revolver
What?
Records because it doesn't have the cover. It's
Oh.
just the record itself, and I have yet to put it on. I think
Oh,
now that
wow.
after this conversation,
I have a vinyl too.
I think
Nice.
I
That's
might throw that bad boy on.
Nice.
I love Nine Inch Nails.
Dude, what do you think of the new one? Of the new
It's
EP?
great. I'm glad he's like experimenting and like
Kind of going back to basics at the same time, though.
I like what he's doing with his voice. He's
Yeah,
doing
he's like
some new
singing
things.
differently, right?
Yeah.
Some of the time, yeah. Little more soul and
Yeah.
not as
But I like these new EPs a lot better than like the past 2 albums, definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of what's that copy of a copy record? The last one that they did, one of the last ones they did, the full length. It was the free one that they put out on the
Hesitation
website.
Marks.
Hesitation Marks, yeah. I was like, I think the first drum part I ever learned was "Living After Midnight," Judas Priest. But I mean, it's also like 1,000 other songs. Just like
my
boom,
first
cat,
drum
boom,
song
cat.
was Breed Nirvana.
Ooh, really?
But that was for the sole reason.
Overachiever.
No, for the sole reason that beat to me was the key to unlocking my hands and my feet.
Oh.
So once, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can do a whole bunch of stuff because I just unlocked the two. You know?
Yeah, totally.
It took weeks to like get that right. I just playing on the bus.
One of my friends left a guitar, a Squire Bullet, at my parents' house when I was like 14, 13, and I learned what's that fucking Everclear song? Not Santa. Is it Santa Monica?
I am still living with you.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Oh.
I learned that because it's literally just like power chording G, and then you're literally just power chording G and then opening E. That's all you're doing the entire time. And then I
watch the world die. Or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
And then I learned, same day I figured out that Smashing Pumpkins song.
Today.
Yeah,
Oh.
today. I feel like that's another one of those, like, at least it wasn't Smoke on the Water. Like, ugh. If I go into Guitar Center
yeah.
and your kid is playing Smoke on the Water, I will kick him in the face. Like,
I think that was the first song I
Fuck.
ever played on stage. Was
really? You
Yeah.
played Smoke on the Water on stage?
It was at school. It was like with like the vice principal. I was like 14 or 15, and like the janitor. There's like a bunch of school faculty members and me. Playing like dad rock. It was pretty great.
Dude, yeah, man, it's crazy. Like when you're a kid, like So the School of Rock program is like super guilty of this, but it's just kids playing like their pappy's music.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like you can't tell me that your like 14-year-old kid wants to play fucking Bush. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, no, they don't. Like, and when I was a kid, it wasn't even Bush. It was like, it was either Hendrix or like, I was in a School of Rock type program in Ohio, and we played fucking "Fly Away" by Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, we had
Like,
to do that in our pop combo class, pop rock. We got to like throw some Zeppelin in there, but then they made us play some shit too, because the girl singers wanted to do it or this and that. I ended up getting kicked out of the class, and I was happy to just
Good for
only do
you.
jazz class by my senior year.
Good for you, man.
My friend's a teacher there, and he said they're doing a bunch of Rage Against the Machine right now. Yeah, they get like a bunch of permission slips for the kids to like sing the lyrics.
we did one Rage song. My buddy
Screw
Lucas
you, I won't
rapped it.
Right.
Yeah, I think we did like "Killing in the Name" or something in high school,
Dude, that's so crazy, man.
and we didn't play it out very much, but we did get to like practice it at school. You know.
Audio Slave is another one of those bands where like I really also don't feel like I get why people, especially like real artsy hipsters, don't respect Audio Slave, but those songs are really good.
I love Obviously.
Like those
I'm a
songs,
huge
especially
Chris
the
Cornell
first
fan.
record. Like the first two records.
The first two records.
I feel like
the third
Revela-
one was definitely a drop off.
Yeah, my parents, I told my family that I was really into Audio Slave. I was like, I don't know, like 14 or something like that. And they bought me, like for Christmas, they bought me Audio Slave. I was super excited. And it was an album cover I did not recognize. And then it was Revelations. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn it. I wanted Like a Stone.
Yeah.
I wanted it subtitled. But dude, that record's great. Like you open up with Cochise. That song is such a fucking barn burner.
Yeah.
Like that's such a great like that riff like it's like
His
such a
vocals are
great
so
riff.
brutal on that first album too.
Yeah, that's good shit, man. Good shit. So what do you guys do? You guys got some shows coming up. You got an EP coming up. Any ideas as far as like doing a full length in the future, or is it just like EPs and singles?
Well, I
and
mean,
whatnot?
I gave you a little sneak peek on what's coming after that, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do this kind of film noir, jazzy concept album that might have a
yeah.
comic book attached to it.
Spy jazz.
Spy Jazz.
Yeah, I recently
Name
read
the album that.
I recently read a book called The Hunter. That's a kind of a film noir graphic novel, and it's kind of inspiring me. But I also just want to like do some softer, jazzier stuff. That's kind of the polar opposite of what we're doing now.
Totally.
And then aside from that, we're gonna do the worm wall. You can imagine what that's gonna be.
Wormwall.
I don't know what that means. What is that?
We fell
It's
into the
it's gonna
wormwall
be
in
probably
in
a
Bisbee.
lot. Yeah,
What
it's
is Wormwall? I don't understand what that is.
it's something we made up in Bisbee.
Oh, okay.
So we're walking around the mountain on Sweethearts, you know.
Dude, I have yet to go to fucking Bisbee, man. I
But,
need to go run into.
Yeah, that one will probably
Don't
just be
stand
like
up.
more of a live jam type of thing. So they're all going to be completely different. You know, that's kind of the idea.
You're gonna record it live, like maybe not live, like in front of an audience, but you're gonna do the live recording
the
process
live
for that?
for the Wormwall, I think so, and it'll be probably mostly instrumental. And then I
It's
might
gonna be our prog
might
rock
throw-
opus.
yeah, might throw in some like voiceover stuff that doesn't make sense. You know,
It's a 30-minute
get
song.
weird with it. You know.
Just do prison statistics.
Yeah. Prison Statistics 2019 or
Yeah.
2020.
Do it, 2020. There you go, man.
Hindsight statistics.
Hell yeah! Now, do you guys have anything that's going on with your other bands? Because this is like an amalgam of a bunch of other shit that's going on. Are you still? Is Hostel still like a viable like thing? I don't see. I haven't
is
seen you guys in a while.
releasing our EP September 12th at Crescent Ballroom.
Ooh, who you playing with?
Has
it been announced?
It's Ali A in the agency,
Mm-hmm.
and the runner-up, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know who else.
I don't know these guys.
Jake set it up.
Okay, who's Jake?
Jake's the singer of Hostel Orchid.
Call him. Let's find out. No,
I could
I'm just
probably-
kidding. I'm
I
just
could
kidding. Cool. So Hostel's got some shit going on. I haven't
Mhm.
seen Hostel's name around here in a hot minute. Maybe that's just me. I haven't seen like you guys on flyers or anything.
Yeah,
like that in a hot
we've been
minute.
playing. We got our new bass player
Yeah.
Brandon, and we've been getting
Brandon.
tighter,
Very good.
working on some new stuff.
Get that rhythm section locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard some of the stuff at Ari's the other day. Sounds good.
Hell
yeah, I'm
yeah.
excited. We got some really big drum sounds on this new
Fuck yeah.
EP.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Lava Lake's been recording their stuff.
Anybody else? Anybody else have any plugs for other projects? I guess you're just Psychedelephants now.
Yeah, I'm always doing like kind of side stuff, little things here and there. Thinking about doing some just like solo stuff, maybe. Pick and choose from the songs I've written over the years and just like do like a kind of a broken down, just me type of thing.
Cool.
Just because I'd like to. I don't
Very
know.
cool.
Oh yeah, and then
Maybe that's not a priority.
I'm also gonna be doing a set with Marty from Bad Neighbors Curiosity Door. For my birthday in September.
Marty, he's
Yeah.
I love Marty.
We're trying to get Tim in on it too. We've been working on some songs for a while though.
Marty's the one that
Sweet.
played in Paper Foxes, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool guy.
So, yeah.
I liked Bad Neighbors quite a bit. I played
Yeah.
with them. They were great.
Yeah, they're a great band.
They were fantastic. They like Listener quite a bit.
So me and him
like
have kind of
Listener.
been jamming on and off since that band ended.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of songs we know.
That's
we just
awesome.
been sitting on.
Shout out to Marty, dude. I had a conversation with Marty one night. He came in. My girlfriend, not really as much anymore, but used to work for Mantooth, and she would work at 51 West all the time, and which would mean that I was also working at 51 West because, like, free shows. Like, of course I'm gonna go, so I would just like hang out in the concession stand and just like volunteer, and just because like I might as well make myself useful. So I would be at 51 constantly, and he was there seeing a show. I think it was Listener. I think it was when Listener played there, and I had a conversation with him, and he was talking about how he's not really doing music anymore, and I was like, dude, like, you've got to do that. Like, you need to, like, you have to express yourself. You need to get all those stuff out there. And he, like, gave me, like, literally, like, 3 of the best, biggest, sincerest hugs I've ever received in my entire life. Like, he's, like, the sweetest dude. He's like, thank you so much, man. And then, like, he's, like, left, and then...
Yeah, he's great.
What I'm saying is that I'm responsible for this.
Yeah, I've been trying to push him along since the band broke up.
Yeah.
Make sure he doesn't stop.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Bad Neighbors was fucking great.
Yeah.
Those songs were, like, really good. Like, that Cakewalk song was so good, and he hated it so much. But it was, like, such a great
he has
song.
a problem where he ends up, like, hating all the shit he
Yeah.
writes.
But, like, that song was fucking great. I love that
he's
shit.
great. He's a great songwriter.
I'm really looking forward to that. Like, if I don't see that around because algorithms online are shit, DM me, send me that. I want to hear whatever you and Marty cook up because I really do like his style quite a bit. What about you, homeboy? What you doing?
Outside of Psychedelephants, not a whole lot of original content. Like I said, I play in a few cover projects.
Hell yeah.
outside of it.
Just playing some shows.
Every now and then I'll do like a little cameo recording guitar
Little
thing
cameo.
for different
Special
people.
guest.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Good
But,
shit, fellas.
yeah.
Well, thank you for coming over. Thanks
Yeah,
for hanging
thanks
out
for
with
having
me
us.
for an hour and chilling and having a good time. I really appreciate you guys' company.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Good to see you guys again. Because I've seen you, like, in, like, you two, specifically Paul and Spencer. I've seen you, like, a bunch just in passing. I haven't actually been able to, like, sit down and shoot the shit with you at all. So it's been really nice hanging out.
Yeah, it has.
Definitely.
Because, like, there's been, like, a lot of shows where we're, like, playing together or, like there's weird shows. Like, we played, like, with Redemptions at the Compound. You guys remember that?
Yeah. That weird house party where there was like a turkey inside.
Yeah, there was a rooster inside. His name was Smokey. Yes, that was okay. I did not know that that's what the Compound was. First of all. I showed
Such
up.
An interesting place.
I showed up.
There's
and
like a bathtub in the front yard or something.
And a pit. They had just
They had
dug
a
a pit
pit,
in the
yeah.
yard.
Yeah, they were all about the pit too. They would hang out near the pit.
Yeah,
So-
they
so
respect
kinda-
the pit.
Yeah, kind of.
Respect the pit.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking crazy. I showed up and I was like, oh no, I did not know that this was what this place was. And there was like at least 10, 15-year-old girls fucked up. Like,
Oh, yeah.
completely
I feel like a
wasted.
bunch of like underage kids lived there.
They did.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the one old guy that was
And there was like a creepy old
irresponsible.
guy, yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, hold on. So his name is Lou. So I have a really funny story before we wrap this up.
Okay.
I haven't gotten a chance to talk about Lou. So Lou's the
Oh,
dude. Lou, old Lou. So Lou faked his own death recently.
Oh wow! Getting off the grid.
No, just check this out.
To get away
It's-
from like having underage kids.
It's way more insidious than that. So Lou fucking. So I think it was about a year ago. He like faked his own death, and there was like reports on Facebook and stuff like Lou died. All these family members and friends are mourning him. I even have a thing on one of the podcasts that I did where at the very end I like shout him out, and I don't remember who the podcast was with, but at the very end I think it was Erico. Erico came on, and we were because they know those guys, and I was like, yeah, like shout out to Lou, like rest in peace, Lou. It was like a whole like week where like everyone thought Lou was dead, and then the band who like is connected with him who lived there are what is it? Is it Color TV? I think.
Yeah.
I think it was Color TV. I could be wrong, but so they're playing a Halloween show, and they have a casket at the Halloween show, and Lou fucking
Pops
sits
out?
up from the fucking
What the hell?
he did it all for the show.
Oh
Like,
my god!
so he raises
How
up
many
from the
days?
coffin. It was like a week. And it was like a rest in, like they did like a memorial. It was like a Halloween / memorial show for Lou.
And he
Lou pops out of the
So
coffin.
people are like freaking out, like, oh my
It
god!
kind of would have been fucked up that they're having a house show at the dead guy's
Wait,
house. Right?
So how long was
everyone's
he in
just,
the
like, so
coffin
happy
before
and
people
angry.
showed up?
just the show. I don't know. I
so
wasn't
like maybe
there.
he was in there for like hours with like
Yeah.
one bottle of water and one pack of Doritos
Dude.
or
like
something.
a
like
little,
like
a little
Ben
hole to
Stiller
breathe
in
out of.
Arrested Development.
People were pissed.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna say.
Like, oh my god,
you even joke about that,
right? But like, oh
That's
my god,
insane.
what a fucking character! I laughed so hard when I found, and then on the next podcast, I had to make an addendum where I was like, by the way,
Unrest in peace.
Lou's not dead. He's just a fucking asshole.
It's like Man on the Moon or something.
yeah, it's just some weird Kaufman shit.
Yeah.
Except you're like a crazy alcoholic. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, except nobody. Yeah.
It was weird. But yeah, sorry.
Good.
Whatever.
That was a good story. I'm glad you told that.
I couldn't believe. Only in Phoenix, dude. Like that's
Old-
Phoenix shit.
Old Dead Lou.
Phoenix house show shit. Yeah, that was a wild night, dude. There was like that heavy metal 2000 movie was like playing on the TV in the background and shit. Everyone's like stoned. Like the guys in color TV, they had to like wake up the singer because he was just like fucked up, like laying with his head on the table, and they had like, hey, it's time to play. Like, I'm gonna miss that though, man. I'm gonna miss like house shows like that, like not being in a band anymore. That shit was fun, but oh well.
You
It's
could
over.
always join another band.
Nah, I'm done.
You can always go to house shows.
I'm
too.
out of it.
You
Yeah,
can always
I
go
could.
to house
I
shows.
could
Come to
go
house
to house
shows.
shows. I like this part.
Oh, I am having a house show
Oh yeah?
on Saturday.
That's too soon. This isn't gonna be released for another few weeks. Sorry.
That's all good.
Bummeritaville,
Yeah.
2018. Sorry, homie. But for sake of conversation, where is it at? What are you guys doing?
It's at my place, Cat House, right by Rogue Bar.
Very cool. Very cool. That'd be a good time, man.
Yeah, pool party, house show.
Who
We
else
got
is
bands
playing?
from like 3 to 11, so it's like a
Oh
lot of
shit!
bands.
Who are some of
Woodworks,
the-
Pterofractal, Larkspurs, Ancient Egypt.
Nice.
Ancient Egypt.
Mr. W.
Mr. W.
Yeah. I forget who else.
We're not gonna
Mr.
play. I'm going
fucking
camping this weekend.
W. Nice. Very
Hostels
cool.
playing, Banter's playing.
I really want to get out of the heat.
cool. Good for you, dude. I need to do that
Yeah.
soon. Good for you. All right, guys. This is the real end this time. No false ending. This isn't Lord of the Rings. We're gonna fucking end this thing. Thank you guys so much for coming over. Thank you everybody for listening, and stay tuned for some announcements after this. Get stoked. Patreon. Austin Carson, Every Show Joe, Bradley Palermo, Aubrey Hoffer, my mom, my grandmother, Courtney Gallegos, Miguel Lopez, Tom Maxwell, and Bryce Koppel for donating the lights that we use for the videos, motherfuckers. Aw, shit, look at that. The episode's over, man. We're done. Episode is finished. Luckily, though, there are plenty of other older episodes hanging around the internet anywhere you'd like to find podcasts. iTunes, podcast apps like Stitcher or Podcast Addict for either the iPhone or the Android. My official Podbean website. I'm fucking everywhere, man. I'm building an empire. Let's take over the fucking world. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I truly appreciate you and encourage you to please reach out and say hello. I'm serious about this, guys. I really want to connect with my listeners. So whether you want to come on the show or not, drop me a line. Hit me an email at gettingstokedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. It really I know I harp on it so much, but it really truly means everything. So thank you. Get stoked.